I would do is, someone says somebody forced me to do XYZ. The question will be, please explain force.
I've never actually said anything really bad about Spac Nation. I've actually always said, I don't understand how people can be forced into taking out money.
Pushing me forward.
So why does everyone who leaves, like, what was that guy's name? TK? Why he was like, wasn't he like your protege? He was underneath you, kind of.
I've never sat down to talk to PK ever, other than the time that he did a confession thing. So it's not.
So right. So
why? Never.
So why do you?
I don't want to talk about him because that would be too beneath me. But beneath me.
TK, I'm actually above him. Okay, I don't even want to spend too long on it.
And it was my job at that point to kind of give him a fair chance to speak. Yeah, that's what I felt he deserved, a fair chance to speak.
Whether or not you liked that true character, that's another thing. It's just annoying because it's just like people don't use their logic. And all you people that think you can do better, contact him. You and your church, contact him and set up a camera and ask for an interview and quote as much Bible script with.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Yeah? If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click the bell button for notifications of the uploads, baby. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know you ain't got the minerals. Alright, cool. So, we're going to talk to you guys about Zeze Millz, Spac situation part 2. And we're just going to go into depth it. Hey, I'm going to pray. Reason why is because I'm going to talk specifically about a person, and I don't want it to come off like a critique where I'm trying to destroy the person's character or reputation. I want to understand that I'm coming from a place of love, and I want to dispute what was said and what was done. Alright, so Father, we thank you in the name of Jesus. We're just praying that, Lord, as we speak these words, it's words of kindness, of love, and it's not of one of judgment. But Father, we just pray in the name of Jesus that I pray that my heart will be placed in the right place, in the right direction. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. You've been faithful, God. You've been faithful to me from the ages past. Oh, yes, that is why your name is forevermore. You've been faithful to me, God. You've been faithful, God, from the ages past. Yes, that is why your name is forevermore. You alone are worthy, Lord. Yes, Lord, to be praised and adored. Father, thank you in the name of Jesus, God, we pray. Amen. So, guys, yeah, we're going to talk about the Zeze Millz situation. And what I'm going to say is, the reason why I was hot on Zeze Millz, yeah, and the reason why I'm even doing this second video, is because I feel like when this situation, yeah, the way it's handled, I was on Zeze, like, for instance, sorry. The reason why I'm doing a part 2 of this video is because, one is about Spac, it's about Pastor Tobi, but it's also about Zeze Millz. And I just want to focus on something. When I gave the original video, before the actual full video came out, I was saying it from a place of just understanding that someone didn't have the spiritual eyes. But to be honest, when I've been looking at obviously Zeze Millz' latest video and her even on live, and her coming on to TK's live very briefly, she didn't come on to the actual video, but she came on to into the live and commented. I saw a different side. Now I've actually liked Zeze. I like Zeze Millz. I don't agree with everything she does. I want to be very honest. I like Zeze Millz. Yeah, I like what she does. I like the fact that she's outspoken. She doesn't give a hoots. Yeah. But, you know, this particular time, I felt like this wasn't the same energy that she talks about, keeping the same energy. And I'll say this, look, the very first is this. When I saw her interviewing Renee, she didn't let that girl breathe. My girl was even asking Renee, would your man even be happy? Would he, if you got a man now, would he be happy with you? And it's like, she was asking some cutting questions in that Renee interview. Why? Because she felt comfortable enough to dissect the girl like there's no tomorrow. Do you understand? Same with also the Vic thing. She was on job when it came to Vic. She was asking mad questions. yeah.
But someone like a Tobi, she will obviously approach his thing different because she sees them people.
So
she sees them people different.
Basically, what you're trying to say is the Tobi guy was too smart for her then.
I don't think. Here's the thing. My man sounds smart to dumb people. No offense to anyone that found what you were saying smart. He sounds smart to dumb people because the killer thing is about is,
so
especially as I've been on.
Is she dumb? Is she dumb then?
No, she's just looking for the clickbait points. She's looking for clickbait points. She's not really trying to know what's really going on. She's asking the questions as an interest and intrigue standpoint.
Cool. You see, man. Okay, cool. Sometimes man bants and all of these things, but on a real thing,
putting pressure on man. Yeah. Now, here's my thing. I like a person that will be humble enough and say, listen, do you know what, guys, my bad. You know what, clocked it, I made a mistake. You know what, I probably could have gone a bit harder, you know, or da-da-da. And I think everyone can just go, we cool. Here's my thing with the Zeze Millz situation. Not only did you not ask the guy the right questions on the show, then you allowed him to talk about the black community. And I think it was only about one part where she checked and saying, I mean, come on, no, you can't say that because obviously your church is black, da-da-da. But man was talking trash about the black community from the whole 53 minutes, bruv. You understand? And that was the only one real time when you really rebuked him. And actually, if it was all about conversation, it would have been good for you to input some correction into there. You understand? But part of me thinks that maybe does Zeze Millz agree with some of the deductions that were made about the black community? You know what I mean?
Black community can think anything because these are people who don't read. They don't like reading. Black community hates book. They've said if you don't want anybody around you to succeed, put it in a book. Black people don't read it. They don't read anything. They go from suspicion to judgment. Whereas in this community, you go through trial. So when you talk about for an intelligent person, and that's why I don't do interviews because it's not intelligent. How do you respond to people on Twitter? It's not intelligent conversation. So do you understand what United Kingdom is? Do you understand money movement in this country? And their uncles, most black people's uncle, most black people have family members in prison. Have you ever seen any of your criminal uncles or fraudsters live boldly in front of people, then leave from there, go to Scotland Yard and have meeting with Scotland Yard? Is that the way fraudsters live, like in front of people? I live in front of people.
I'm not going to say that, listen, I don't think the black community is retarded. I don't think the black community is dumb. I don't think the black community is not smart. I don't think the black people don't read. Listen, I know many black people that read. Yeah? And it's a stereotype that's put on us because that again allows us to be put down once again, right? That we're uneducated, we're not smart, we don't try to learn, you know, we're bottom tier. Like, this guy was going in, yeah? And there wasn't a check-in, you understand? Like, you wanted to hear his opinions, etc., etc. I get it. But when you were dealing with Renee and Vic, you weren't allowing them to air their opinions. You were checking it, yeah? Checking it all the time. And that's my thing. Because I know Zeze Millz are always about keeping the same energy, right? Keeping the same energy. And one of the things, I remember watching a Vic Santorio interview, and she talks about the fact that he didn't keep the same energy when he talked to her, he didn't keep the same energy if he was talking to BBC. Well, here is the same thing, Zeze. Zeze's in the exact same position. Keeping the same energy when it comes to Pastor Tobi. Now, here's my issue with the Zeze thing as well.
And it was my job at that point to kind of give him a fair chance to speak. Yeah? That's what I felt he deserved, a fair chance to speak.
I don't know if you've been following Pastor Tobi or not. Man's been speaking from day blood. This is not nothing new. It's just that he's not been on your YouTube or someone's platform to speak unadulterated without, quote unquote, making it about a God thing. You understand? But he's been speaking for ages. He's been speaking his opinion and his feelings for time. When he was dropping comments about the fact that obviously anybody who hasn't got 5k in their account of their parents, I don't want to hear their voices. He's been speaking unadulterated. We didn't need to have another platform to boost him again. She made a comment about the fact that Reggie Yates, we heard a little bit about Pastor Tobi on the Reggie. No, we heard enough. We had enough to know that, listen, if you need to ask more penetrating questions. We were getting onto Reggie Yates too. This is not personal. Because the same way we stuck it on Zeze is the same way as a community we stuck it on Reggie Yates. That we felt like it wasn't enough effort in terms of really trying to explore all the allegations that were made, yeah? And there wasn't enough questioning in a certain way. Now, the reason why we're talking about questioning is because, listen, If you're coming to do, this is what I don't like. What we don't like, what someone says, Zeze doesn't like clout chasers, right? She doesn't like clout chasers. All right, cool. When you put on, an interview with somebody who you can't say you didn't know their repertoire.
The masses say that this is such and such. That means now I'm going to come on and condemn you because everyone else is saying it.
Right. In one of her interviews with the Mobile Awards, she says, it wasn't until after when she put up the picture, once after she put up the picture of herself and Pastor Tobi, did she realise that Pastor Tobi was hated so much. How did you not know? How did you not know? How did you know he was infamous in the first place? He was only infamous because so many people didn't like him. So to say that you didn't know that people really didn't like him, didn't really make sense for me, because he's infamous for not being liked.
I don't think I was hesitant. The time when I realised I was hesitant was when I put the picture up on the internet and I realised how much people disliked him.
So where does the correlation of the two come in? See, there's something not really genuine here. You understand? I think the truth of the matter is, I'll come to it in the end as well, I'll discuss it. But the truth of the matter is here, when she said in her show, Zeze Millz show.
Thank you. Anyway, thanks for watching and thanks for the views. And we was trending number 6 in the whole of the UK on YouTube. So regardless, we done the numbers and I'm happy.
And so see that energy, when you bring that energy, right? That this energy of, I don't care what anyone says, rah, 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 rah. Then the comments are going to still come. The comments are going to come, and even more fiercer, because we're feeling like, hold on a minute. So you brought man on for clout, but you're saying you're not a clout chaser, but you brought man on for clout to get views and to trend. Because this is the key part of the issue. The biggest problem about this particular interview is not the fact that she's just it's not a great questioning interview. Or there wasn't due diligence being done in terms of research. The problem is that this man, is being alleged on many different occasions of different things of abuse, and maybe not him specifically, but his organization. Because he's very, very smart. He might not get involved himself personally, but it's coming from top down, Now, when you have this many allegations, this much smoke, and I said it in my video, when you have this much smoke, we're choking. You can't pretend as if I didn't want to do it, as if it was hearsay.
Questions. So any questions that I asked him were things that he's maybe been arrested for, or he's been questioned for already, for him to get his side of things, not kind of like he say, she
hearsay.
say.
You can't really ask on hearsay.
I can't. These type of interviews, you can't ask hearsay things. Do you get what I mean? So it's just. I guess that's just.
Wait though, because actually this brings me to the next one, where our worlds almost collided in a weird sense. But the Wiley interview, because to be fair, a lot of Wiley stuff are slightly hearsay, but we've been hearing it for so long.
But yet, when you were talking about like the guy from the Mobile Awards said, when it was Wiley,
only hearsay thing I asked Wiley about was his stuff that's happened about him being with underage girls. Okay. That's the only hearsay thing I asked him about. And that was because, as you said, it was something that has been going around the culture for like over 10 years.
Pastor Tobi, there's an account on YouTube and Instagram where they basically do voiceovers and talk about what happens in the church. Where's the evidence?
You had no way. You felt no way. And the reason why you said, and she made a distinction about the fact that with Wiley it was different because this has been circling around for 10 years, but it's still hearsay. It's not been proven. And you said it yourself about PT. I'm not going to come to somebody about hearsay things and, I'm not trying to go the same way that about social media convicts. Well, how did you get the information about the hearsay about Wiley? It was hearsay. So the whole point is this there. I was just discussing as well that she mentioned about about her, the way that she sees PT, and I'm like, look, I know that obviously, Spac Nation have done some great things. How do you know that? Did you see it, Zeze? If you didn't see it, you went on hearsay. Now, when we're saying to you that obviously there were allegations that were also laid against Pastor Tobi, what was that? Hearsay. So why did you take the good and not take the bad? Confusion. How can you choose? Do you see what I'm saying? So something seems disingenuous. Something seems off. You were happy to take the good as hearsay and not confirm it because you ain't seen it yourself. Yeah? But when the bad came, you said, it's hearsay, I can't bring that to him. Right? Then you made a point about the fact that obviously, you know what? And this is what I didn't like. She tried to allude to in her actual video.
Interview, People can say what they want. Bottom line is he came on my show. End of story. That's all I got to say.
She made like an off statement saying, obviously, you and your church can contact him and set up a camera and quote as much Bible as you want, right? So this was a shot now at the Christian community. You understand? And I'm looking at it and I'm going to myself, Zeze, everybody was getting onto you, black, Christian, whatever. Everyone was getting onto you because you had boasted in the beginning. Like, you know, like, this is what happens when you're playing with your brother and or playing with a friend and you boast you're gonna win. And when you lose, what happens? Everybody gets in your case. When you started off the interview with him, you started off on a bossy thing. You didn't keep the same energy in terms of the way that you were questioning him. No, but and look, she made a false equivalent. She goes, "Oh, you guys want me to? You guys say obviously when I interrupt somebody, I should let them breathe and let them talk. How does interrupting somebody equate to asking good questions? The two are not the same. They're not mutually exclusive. I'm so sorry. They're not mutually exclusive. Being a great journalist in this particular and she might not consider herself a journalist, but when you're interviewing somebody, you end up journalizing because you have to start and go and do research, right? So when you now come to the forefront to begin to discuss with that individual person, you bring up certain things. Now, when you look at the R. Kelly interview, fam, the Girl King brought up Tings blood. Yeah, Tings. Yeah, and it's the exact same way that we were expecting you to bring up these things to the foreplay. Now, she made a reasoning behind that. Yeah, her deduction was that, you know, she couldn't bring that to man because she knows that man's a seasoned preacher and he would just keep on spinning things. And I can't bring the Bible to him because obviously it will just be his word against my word, against his Bible quote against my Bible quote, etc., etc. But again, we never asked for Bible quotes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I said the Christians should be on it because they can go toe-to-toe with him on the Bible quotes. But if you can't go toe-to-toe on the Bible quotes, the allegations are there. All it required was good research. Now, when somebody says, obviously, I don't want to listen to those things because I want to make up their own opinion, but you haven't made an opinion. You've already got an opinion. When you say that, obviously, in the interview with Pastor Tobi, that most people have already made their mind up. You had already made your mind up. The same accusation you've laid at our feet, you've laid it.
I feel, unfortunately, people have made up their mind about you already. Look at both sides. Do you understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people can't look at both sides. They just have their...
yourself. Because you already made up your mind. Yeah? You already made up your mind. Nothing was going to change that. So nobody is in any better position. We had a bias from the information we had seen. If she had seen some of the information that we had seen, maybe she'll be less biased about it. Maybe she would have come towards our side and understood that. And maybe she would have questioned him in a different manner. Do you understand? And I think when she was doing a mobile interview, it made a great point, which was that, look, you know, you're looking back at this in maybe 10 years or whatever, people might look at a certain, obviously, interview and may think, obviously, like, if the person was bantering, why would they banter on a serious subject? We may look back in 5 years' time and see PT Ting and go to ourselves, fam, why didn't Zeze ask them the hard questions? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know she didn't banter, and I respect that. But she also didn't, you know, ask him hard questions and bring up you know, there's videos upon videos. And like she said, if you type in Spac Nation, you know there's so much information there for you. So you can bring up to the foreplay. And then you kind of throw shade a little bit at the exposer, saying obviously it's all circumstantial. So how did you manage to bring up a point about, how did you manage to say that Pastor Tobi has done good things? It's circumstantial. What proof do you have? Yeah? Is it the BBC saying that Spac Nation are good? Because the same BBC then did a panorama. Do you see the problem you have here? Right? So that's why I'm like, look, this thing, just be humble, right? And say, listen, look, guys, do you know what? And she said in the interview, she said, oh, you know what?
The way that I've conducted the interview,
yeah,
I could tell that from when I put the picture up and how many people are like, I hope you dragged him. And I was thinking, I didn't really drag him, to be honest with you, but okay, you'll find out yourself. Cool. But I knew, and that's probably, I did have quite a bad anxiety about that interview because I knew that people were not going to be that happy with it or happy. So
that's the humility we need to see, right? Because if you feel like you got something wrong, you just go, listen, guys, I think I maybe got it wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, my bad. Like, you know, when I work on it, maybe I could have done a few things better. Then everybody can go, do you know what? All right, Zeze, we understand what you're saying. But when you come with that energy where you're saying that you don't give a care, and then you're throwing a bit of shade at Exposer, throwing a little bit at TK as well for the fact TK didn't come on your show, then he has a different story to what you have. He said, listen, that's not the case. Like, TK says basically what happened was that he was contacted, and it was like a day before the time he could do it. He wasn't ready to do it. The girl also dropped out as well. Like, so, you know, this is nobody's trying to crush Zeze, because I think she does a good job at what she does. I just felt like this particular interview was not a time to banter, was not a time for jokes, was not a time for ill research. This interview required some really extensive questioning. Like the very person you had on your show before Pastor Tobi was Vixen Tinrino, who also made some very strong videos about his interaction with Spac Nation, and you still ignored that. I'm sorry, but didn't you not interview Vixen Tinrino? So you can't play ignorant that you never knew these bad things were happening or these bad allegations were against him. Do you understand? Like, all of it is circumstantial. When would it have been? Look, at what point would it have been not circumstantial? At what point would it have not been circumstantial? Yeah, when he's in jail. Well, he wouldn't have interviewed him if he was in jail. Right, when he's come out of jail. Like, it's a bit late by then. We already got him into prison. Nobody's asking you to make the guy trip. So she's made a point that she thinks that we want her to...
But you expected him to come on my show and almost confess to whatever it is that you believe he's supposed to have done.
To make the guy trip. No! What we want you to do is do your job. Ask the correct questions. That's it. Penetrating questions that kind of lead him to somewhere so we can get some really specific answers. Do you understand? Instead, she said excuse was that she let him talk because she wanted him to talk. And basically what she was saying, she wanted to give him a platform to speak. We don't want him to have a platform to speak. We need him to answer questions. We need justice, and justice we need. You understand?
I've actually said anything really bad about Spac Nation. I've actually always said, I don't understand how people can be forced into taking out money.
And then she made a point, and I think this is really one of the key things about Zeze's reasoning for why she questioned the way she questioned. She said, obviously, I don't understand how someone can force you to take money out. Well, if you had researched, if you had done some investigative research into how people can get coerced into that, yeah, you know, the Bible says a lack of knowledge my people perish. You understand? That lack of knowledge, you don't understand how people can get coerced into it. Go and find out how they could. You understand? Because when Pastor Tobi was asking a question about people being forced, he fed you some spoon, he fed you some little thing, like it wasn't even heavy food, and you took it. You said, yeah, okay, cool. But if you had done some research on even how people get forced into taking finances, if you had done your research into Spac Nation as how they operate, then maybe this wouldn't have been the case. Some of us have done some great videos out there. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, look, I want to just even show you this. Like, so I actually put a comment on the video. I said all Zeze had to do was show him some clips that Spac Nation had said themselves and presented it. Lol. Anyway, we got the views, right? Now, she actually commented back saying, my life is not me trying to catch out Spac. See this energy? See this energy right here? That's the energy I'm talking about. That's why everyone's on your neck. Because you're saying, listen, she says, oh, my life is not to try and catch out Spac. But nobody's life is to catch out Spac. What we're trying to do is stop people from being abused. You see, the viewpoint is all skewed. She thinks this is about someone who's this is about someone who's shouting on social media. Like this is a beef between two people. This is not a beef. This ain't a beef between two people or artists. This ain't a Wiley versus Stormzy. You understand? This isn't Wiley trying to stick my jam as Gala. No, this ain't one of those. This ain't one of those things. This is not pop culture. You understand? This is people's lives. This is why when you're deciding to do this interview, it can't be a clout chasing interview. It cannot be a view chasing interview. It cannot be, oh well, we're trending. What do you mean you're trending? You're trending for stuff that you're trending for the thing that you shouldn't be trending for. It's a poor interview in the sense of the fact that the gravity of the situation is heavy. And it taught me a mad lesson. When you chase clout, or when you chase money, when you chase stuff that is not the right thing, you get exposed and then you look silly. Because this very thing is, like, we're talking about financial abuse, spiritual abuse. We're talking about people being brainwashed. We're talking about people, being in debt, yeah? In debt, yeah? Young kids, that this is the way you're going to handle the situation? You understand? That's why it's annoying. Right? She says, my life is not to try and catch us back. I do the interview and I move on. Yours is very much revolving around it, so I get the passion. You have an issue with them that you wanted me to prove. I'm here to have a conversation with my guests. Maybe try and get an interview with him on camera so you can rest once and for all. Like, blood, like, don't, like, for me, listen, man's not a youth, blood. See, like, when people try to be nice and it's not nice, we know it's not nice. It's alright. Like, fam, just do it, just do it with full energy, do it full vim. Like, I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? But the truth of the matter is, all we had to do was, all we're trying to say is, you should have presented it better. Like, that's it. I think she even commented after again and said, she's like, I just find it weird that you've managed to do an hour review on my interview when yours wasn't even recorded. who's analysing yours? So in actuality, we only have your word that you put it on him, but how do we know? Like I said, please get an interview with him. The We Must Bring Down Spac Army needs it. So again, you see, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, when you're making these type of comments, it makes it as if like this is a trivial thing. As if this is somebody I have beef with in the playground. As if I have war with somebody who's stolen my £5 note. This is people's lives. It's not a banter thing. This is why I'm saying that she doesn't get it. Like, Zeze, it's not the fact that Zeze wasn't a Christian that she didn't just get it. She didn't get the actual thing, the seriousness and the gravity of it. You know what I'm saying? Because her viewpoint is, I don't know how you can get robbed. I don't know how you can get forced into taking money out. You feel what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things. I don't even want to even go too deep. But, you know, she said obviously like, you know, she had bad anxiety when she put up the photo and realised that obviously that people were going to hate him so much. And look, this is what I'm saying. Look, the energy of I don't care when you've got anxiety now. See what I'm saying? Like, keep it. That's why I said keep it. Listen, humility is a beautiful thing. When you have pride, it makes your heart spike for no reason. Yeah? The interview, yeah, could have been better pressed. The reason why I say it could be better pressed because the person was boasting they're going to drop hard bars. When she said you're going to drop hard bars, we're expecting hard bars. And, you know, now you said obviously you had anxiety from it. And it's like, look, see that? I can resonate with that. I can resonate with that. Okay, cool. The girl had anxiety because she felt like it didn't go the way she wanted. Fine. Now we can all just go, okay, do you know what? We understand, Zeze. Our bad, you know what I mean? Like, we know that it's a stressful job, You see, the way that you respond is so critical into how people respond to you. You see, if you come on the crud and the pride and the I don't give a damn beating on your chest, then people are coming to beat you on your chest. You understand? That's the truth, right? Sorry, if you know. So it's like you know, I'm just saying, like, I don't want it to be that kind of thing. Look, Spac Nation has done several things. I'm gonna do some more videos about it because I really want to be able to break down some more things because I believe that there's work to do. But in the truth of matter things, it's a serious topic, and it's not a thing for banter. It's not a thing for chasing clout. It's not a thing for getting trending. It's not a thing for you know, trying to increase one's profile. You know what I'm saying? And am I saying that about Zeze? Well, a little bit, yes. I'm not going to say, oh, no, I'm not saying that, then say it. No, I'm saying that, yes, about Zeze, because she said it herself. She said, we're trending, you know what I mean? I got the views in there. And she may not truly feel like that, but you putting that energy like I don't care feeling just causes more people to be against you. Do you understand? So, guys, I hope you liked what we did there. We just want to speak about it real brief. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads down below. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded.